Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 in my new series on navigating the PGA PGM program. As you can see, I've got this kind of tilt focused here so you can't really make out the details, but we've got a lot of snow. So anyway, let's get into this video and take a look at level 1 of the PGM program. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and we're into week 3 or episode 3 of navigating the PGA PGM program. Rushing right into this, we are into level 1 in this episode. If you haven't watched the first 2 episodes, please go back and watch those. I'll try to put a link down below. If I forget, don't kill me. Just rewind back a little bit and check out the playlist that we have in the Navigating the PGA PGM program section on the site here, and you can check it out there. But let's go straight into episode 3, level 1. Wow. Okay. So there is a lot of info to unpack here. It is a ton of stuff just rolled up into one tight little package. I've actually got a tablet set up right down here with my PDF viewer. I want to have that out so I can actually go through this step by step of what you have to do. So really, once you've passed your PAT, you are through the system and you are done with your qualifier test, which is the written test about the rules and history of the PGA, as well as the bylaws. Once you're through those pieces, you're actually going to start the program itself. It is level 1 of the program. You'll be doing this as you have a job in the industry. So you're going to be doing a little bit of golf work, whether it's at a course or if you're doing maintenance and landscaping, or however you're tying this in with one of the structures within the PGA. That's where you will be starting off. You need to be employed full-time in the industry. Now that can be seasonal. So if you are working in a seasonal golf facility, similar to what I have here in the Seattle area, April through October are pretty regular hours. November, December, January, February, a little bit sketchy. Like I said in the intro, we actually had quite a bit of snow and have been closed for a couple of days at the course here. It happens. So full-time can be a little bit of a flexible number, but honestly, as long as it's your primary source of employment, there is no issue whatsoever. So we'll unpack that a little bit further in as we go, but let's start off with level 1. And what it is level 1 consists of quite a few little pieces here. And I'm going to rotate back around here and get into some of these. So what you will have is, a couple of different sessions that you have to kind of figure out here. The first one is operation side. So facility management, business planning, customer care, cart fleet management, all of that rolled up into one little package, which they call the operations section. It is a lot to unpack. It's basically looking at the entire golf course, and they give you a case study is what they call it, where you will go through and actually apply what you're learning to a course in the book. Sounds easy. It's not. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time to get through it all. But once you do, you understand why and how things work. It really does pay benefits to your own course and what you can contribute there. Part 2 is a rules section. And then you get into, I believe the piece after that is the teaching and coaching part. I'm going to go with that. Teaching and coaching will start basically breaking down everything from club repair and assembly and measuring all the way out to the basics of ball flight principles and things like that. There's a lot of info in there, so don't get overwhelmed. Take your time. What I found that's working really well for me is the business model is broken up into 9 sections. You have 24 months from the point of entry into the program to finish level 1. If you do one program a month, that's 9 months to get through the business planning section. Your teaching and other pieces there can be done on the side while the rest of that happens. You can plug those right in. Peak season, you're out on the range giving a lesson, record it, document it, show them all your work, read through the portfolio requirements before you do that though, so you make sure you have it all there. Once you're done with that, you basically upload the videos, share the learning activities, and you are done. It doesn't sound like it's horribly tough. And honestly, if you're in the industry, it's not. It is very, very simple to get through this as long as you give yourself ample amounts of time to do so. When I was in class, there were some people that were rushing through and they were talking about how 14 months in they would be done. They were talking about how 9 months in they would be done. It's a self-paced piece. You have 2 years from the point of entry. So mine, again, was August. So I have basically 2 years to get this completed. There's no rush. Do it properly, get it done, get it submitted, get it back, make the corrections, and resubmit. If you do run into some problems, we're going to cover that in episode 4. Because that is probably the biggest issue that 99% of the people that enter the program have is they're great golfers, they're good employees, but their time management was so poor that they weren't able to complete all the steps needed to stay in the program. So that leads to what they call suspension. Now you can get suspended once, you meet with your advisor, you get back in the good graces, and you start down the path again. But if that happens again, there's a lot bigger ramifications. So suspension is a horrible word in the PGM program. You do not want to have that happen. And it's really, really simple not to have it happen. You basically have 3 requirements during the year that you have to meet as an associate. You have to play in a PGA sanctioned event, whether it's chapter or a region or national, just a PGA sanctioned event. You have to attend a general meeting, which over COVID, I don't know how long this will drag out, but I went to the fall-winter chapter meeting, and it was Zoom. So I don't know how much easier it can get than that. And we'll see if they keep that going forward to keep it more accessible for people. I don't know how it'll work or how it won't work, but we'll see. And then the third piece is what they call educational credits. Now, the funny part is that if you do this right, and you, in year 1, take the PGM seminar, that is your educational credit for the year. So if you come into the program in January and you do a tournament in March, let's say, for the Associates Series, and then you go to the PGM program in the summer, and then you attend the fall chapter meeting, you've completed all 3 requirements. There's nothing more you need to do to stay out of the doghouse there. Just continue to make progress. So when you start looking at that and realizing how simplistic it is to stay in the good graces there, stay in the good graces. Don't go there. So once you start getting through the materials, the first section in the course management section, and I am looking down to read this off right now, Facility Management 1 is just the overview of how golf course operations works. You go through and do a couple of case studies based off of what you see there. Business planning is another section. Career enhancement is the 3rd or 4th section, depending on how you want to look at it. Customer relations, again, dealing with people is what this job is 100% about. And if you're not a people person, it is a really, really tough way to make a living. Being a people person, you need to be able to teach people. You need to be able to understand people. You need to be able to deal with difficult people, because everybody comes to your course to have a great time. That's what they're there for. If you're in the real estate side of things, they're buying a house from you on the golf course because they want to be there. It's not they have to be there. It's not they're being educated to do something and they need to be there, or it's a required thing that they have to go to. Most golfers are going to their locations because they want to be there. That means we have to deliver an exceptional experience to them. There are countless courses within a half an hour drive of me right now. I depend on my service level to make me want to come back to my own course. So I treat everybody that walks in the door the same way I would treat myself. Now, if that means that they're 10 minutes late for their tee time, I gave away their spot, I will try my best to fix that and get them out on the course as quickly as possible. If it's the, a frost delay in the morning like we've had a couple of times so far, that's one of those things where you check with ownership on, can we give them a bucket of range balls while they wait to tee off? Can we offer a breakfast discount? Is there something we can do to keep them happy while they wait to go out? Or do we just forfeit the money and let them go home, saying that delays are going to be 3 hours and that's that? So there's a lot of ways you can spin things, thinking about it as if you were the golfer coming in the door, how would you want to be treated? Customer relations is, I can't stress enough how important that is. Operationally, you can recover just about anything. If you are teaching someone and they don't get a lesson, you can always give them an extra 15 or 20 minutes until they get it. If you lose somebody that's coming in the door to your facility and they aren't happy when they leave, they probably will not come back. And that's something you cannot recover. You can call them, you can email them, you can try to reach out to them and apologize. But honestly, if they leave with that bad taste in their mouth, they probably will choose one of those other locations, which does nothing but hurt you in the long run. So you want to make sure that when you get into this field, you understand customer relations are vitally important to this. So as you scroll down through this a little bit further, the rules section, obviously, they build on that as they go through the whole program. So by the time you're done, you're pretty much a rules guru. One thing that I have found that's really helped me in the rules section in particular, stop looking so much at the actual letter of the law on the rules and read more about the interpretations. Oftentimes, the interpretations will make the rule seem clearer than it is by just reading it in the rule book. One of the most common ones I get is cart path rule. They'll see the cart path and they'll try to pull the ball back into the fairway reverse of where it was, whereas the closest point of relief is actually on the outside of the path in the rough trees. But you don't get relief from the trees, you get relief from the path. So if you're on the cart path and you drift over into the trees to get your nearest relief point, that's the way it has to be. It's not pull it back into the fairway and hit from there. So it's little things like that, and they actually go through that in those rulings to tell you how exactly they determine those types of things. And that's what's going to be your best defense when those ruling questions come up. Because you'll have two people on the side of the fence of going, no, my drop was closer to the path if I drop to the left than if I drop to the right. But when you read the ruling, they want you to drop to the right. So there's no question there. That's the way the rule was interpreted. That's the way it was written. And that's the way they're enforcing it. So if there is a question on something like that, those interpretations can make a big difference for you. The next part is obviously the teaching and coaching aspect. Now, I'm going to gloss over this a little bit because I have not spent enough time in there to really, really give you a full rundown of what's there. But honestly, every piece of information we got in our seminar was like mind-blowing and boggling, because you don't think about golf psychology as you're teaching somebody how to swing a club very often. But as soon as you start putting technical things like launch angles and force and how to teach someone that doesn't learn visually versus somebody that only learns visually, it's quite amazing to see the transformation and just the process of how I thought about things. From there, you will go into a couple of simulations, if I'm not mistaken, of this may have been part of the seminar itself, but I think you have access to them after the fact, where you can run various things through there and see how increasing costs and increasing greens fees may affect a course versus decreasing costs and increasing rounds. So it's a great little system. It's a great program. Absolutely love where it's headed. Yeah, I mean, that's really a lot to unpack in a little 15-minute video here. But honestly, the individual sections just hammer home the same points that you start learning in the seminar, which is basically Ours was a 5-day online only because of COVID. I know typically they would fly back to either, in the past it's been the PGA facility in Port St. Lucie. I believe next year, 2022, everything is moving to Frisco, Texas. But we'll see. Again, COVID is still very much up in the air right now. We'll see what happens with that one. But for right now, I can definitely answer some individual questions on the content and things like that. I still do not feel super duper comfortable going through and going, here's a PDF of this, blah, 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 because this is all PGA manuals and this is all stuff that is required for the program. So if it is something you have a particular question on or something like that, leave a comment down below. I'll try to reach out to you. Or if you want, just ask the question down below and I'll see what I can do. Other than that, I am looking really forward to part 4 in the series. We're going to talk a little bit more about that ugly word, suspensions. So, I'll try to keep you on the up and up about staying away from those and how to do that. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're finding these videos informational and interesting. If there's more I can do to cover for you, let me know. I'll do a part 2A, 2B, whatever we need to do to get the gaps filled in. But yeah, it's been an amazing journey so far. Huge changes coming next month for me. And other than that, yeah, we look forward to seeing you in the next one. All right. Thanks so much for watching.